design without metal tools. Some believe it was a temple foundation, a sacred space for ceremonies. The holes may have anchored massive wooden posts that rose like a prehistoric great hall. Others argue it was an astronomical calendar, aligning with the equinoxes. When mapped, some holes line up with the sunrise and moonrise on important dates. Then there are the more mysterious theories. What if the Miami Circle was a portal site? A place where the Tequesta believed the living world met the world of the spirits. Some Native American oral histories speak of doorways in the stone, and the circle's unusual placement, right at the mouth of the river, matches ancient traditions about spirit paths. And there's something else. The Miami Circle is one of the only examples of a carved bedrock structure in all of North America. Most indigenous groups built mounds, not holes carved into stone. The technique is unique, singular, mysterious. When developers tried to remove the circle to build the condo, the public erupted. Protests swept through Miami. People demanded it remain exactly where it was found. In a rare moment of unity between activists, historians, and city officials, the site was saved and turned into a protected historical landmark. But today, as cars race past and yachts glide along Biscayne Bay, many visitors walk right by the Miami Circle without realizing they're standing on one of the oldest surviving prehistoric monuments in the Americas. Today, we start our journey in the heart of downtown Miami, surrounded by skyscrapers, luxury condos, and one of the busiest financial districts in the world. But beneath all this modern glass and steel lies one of the oldest and strangest archaeological discoveries in the United States, the Miami Circle. Our story begins in 1998. A developer planned to build a towering condominium overlooking Biscayne Bay. Bulldozers tore down the old apartment buildings on the site. But construction workers started noticing something strange beneath the debris. Carvings in the bedrock. Perfectly circular, evenly spaced, and clearly not natural. At first, nobody understood what they were looking at. Miami is known for nightlife, tourism, hurricanes, not mysterious prehistoric ruins. Archaeologists were called in, and what they found shocked them. A 38-foot wide circle carved directly into solid limestone bedrock. More than 20 deep holes, perfectly positioned along the circumference. Inner chambers that looked like storage pits or ritual sockets. And strangest of all, animal bones and tools that didn't match any known local cultures. After analysis, archaeologists made an incredible announcement. The Miami Circle was nearly 2,000 years old, created by the Tequesta, one of Florida's earliest indigenous civilizations. But the real mystery had just begun. Why carve a giant circle into bedrock? Why here, on the edge of the river? And how did the Tequesta create such a perfect geometrical? Is it a temple, a calendar, a celestial marker, or something even older, perhaps built by a culture we no longer know? The Miami Circle remains silent. But in that silence lies one of Florida's greatest ancient mysteries. The Crystal River Mounds, city of the ancient navigators. Our next story takes us to Florida's Gulf Coast, where river meets ocean and where one of America's most mysterious ancient cities once thrived, the Crystal River Mounds. Imagine standing here 2,000 years ago. The Gulf waters shimmer in the distance. Canoes glide across the river. And rising above the shoreline are towering ceremonial mounds, some of the oldest in the southeastern United States. This wasn't a tiny village. It was a major civilization, active for over 1,600 years, longer than the Roman Empire existed. But the biggest mystery is how such a seemingly remote coastal site became one of the largest pre-Columbian ceremonial centers in North America. Archaeologists discovered something that changed everything. Artifacts here came from hundreds of miles away. Copper from the Great Lakes, mica from the Appalachian Mountains, shells from the Caribbean, tools crafted from chert found only in North Florida. Crystal River wasn't isolated. It was a trade hub, a sacred pilgrimage site where different tribes gathered to honor their ancestors. The burial mounds tell an even stranger story. Some contain elaborate grave goods, beautiful, delicately crafted effigy vessels. Others contain simple tools and shells. But what confused researchers most were the markers. Dozens of limestone monuments, shaped like gravestones but with no inscriptions. Silent stones, standing in rows. These markers resemble something found only in one other culture, ancient Caribbean island cemeteries. Could they have been early contact? Or was this a symbolic tradition lost to time? But the biggest mystery is why the Crystal River civilization rose, and why it disappeared. Around 1500 CE, people simply drifted away. There's no sign of war, no great disaster, no evidence of famine. Some archaeologists believe the rising sea levels slowly overtook their farmland. Others point to a shift in religious centers. Perhaps new ceremonial hubs became more important, and a few suggest that the people simply followed trade networks as they changed over centuries. But native oral traditions offer yet another explanation. This place was sacred, but only for a time. When its ceremonial purpose was complete, the people moved on, leaving their city to the river and sea. Today, the Crystal River Mounds remain one of Florida's most peaceful places, quiet, green, and serene. Visitors often say the site feels alive, like the land itself remembers its ancient purpose. What secrets remain buried beneath its shell mounds? What ceremonies once echoed across this riverbank? We may never fully know. The Windover Bog Bodies, America's oldest DNA. In 1982, construction workers in Titusville, Florida, were trying to create a new housing development. They expected to find mud, trees, and maybe a few old bottles. What they didn't expect was one of the most astonishing archaeological discoveries in North American history. As the machines dug into a shallow pond, bones began to surface. Human bones. Not scattered or broken, but arranged, intentional burials. Archaeologists rushed to the site, thinking they had uncovered a small indigenous cemetery dating back a few hundred years. They were wrong. Very wrong. Radiocarbon dating revealed something shocking. These burials were over 7,000 years old, older than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge, older than nearly every known American civilization. This place became known as Windover Bog. But age wasn't the only mystery. Normally, Florida's heat destroys organic material, but the peat bog had sealed the bodies in an oxygen-free environment, preserving them in astonishing detail. Researchers found complete skeletons, brain tissue in 90 of the bodies, intact clothing, woven from plant fibers, woven mats and burial shrouds. Most astonishing of all, scientists were able to extract the oldest human DNA ever found in North America. The people of Windover were not warriors or elites. They were families, men, women, children. Some were buried with tools or personal items. Others showed signs of long-term care, including individuals with disabilities, who lived for decades, proof of compassion in a time long before written history. But why here? Why bury their dead in a pond? Many archaeologists believe the bog was sacred, symbolic of rebirth, like returning to the earth. Others think it was simply convenient, but some indigenous oral histories speak of water portals, places where the spirits pass into another world. Another mystery lies in the diseases discovered. Several bodies showed signs of congenital disorders, arthritis, and even spinal issues. Yet these people lived long lives, supported by a community that cared for them. It paints a picture of an unexpectedly complex and compassionate society. But the biggest mystery remains: who were the Wendover people? Their DNA does not perfectly match any modern Native American groups in Florida. They seem to represent a very early branch of people who migrated into North America and later vanished or merged into other groups. Today, the pond is calm again, surrounded by suburban houses. No trace remains of the people who lived and died here 7,000 years ago. But Wendover Bog changed everything we thought we knew about ancient America, and it remains one of Florida's deepest mysteries. The key Marco artifacts, Florida's lost carvers. In 1896, archaeologist Frank Hamilton Cushing set out on an expedition to Marco Island, hoping to find traces of the ancient Calusa, a powerful South Florida tribe known for their engineering, canals, and fishing empire. What he found instead was one of the most astonishing collections of prehistoric wooden artifacts ever uncovered. Because Florida's environment is harsh on wood, scholars assumed no wooden tools or sculptures from thousands of years ago could possibly survive. But in a rare twist of fate, a layer of oxygen-free muck had sealed hundreds of objects beneath the ground, preserving them in extraordinary condition. This discovery became known as the key Marco artifacts. Among the objects were masks, carvings, fishing tools, ceremonial items, and the most iconic of all, the key Marco cat. Carved from hardwood, standing only 6 inches tall, the cat figure is half feline and half human, its posture suggesting meditation or transformation. It is one of the most mysterious pieces of Native American art ever found in the United States. But what did it mean? Some believe it represents a spirit guide, part of the Calusa belief system. Others think it's a shaman mid-transformation, reflecting the belief that spiritual leaders could shift between the human and animal world. Then there are more unusual theories. Some researchers suggest the piece may reveal a much older tradition, linked to ancient Caribbean art styles. Others see similarities to Mesoamerican transformation sculptures, though there's no evidence the Calusa had direct contact. The excavation site revealed more secrets: ceremonial masks painted with bright pigments, wooden dolls, fishing gear, and tools that suggested an advanced maritime society. Unlike many tribes, the Calusa didn't farm. They built an empire on fishing, canoe travel, and coastal engineering. But the biggest mystery is what happened to them. When Spanish explorers arrived in the 1500s, the Calusa controlled much of South Florida. But by the 1700s, their civilization had largely disappeared, weakened by disease and conflict. Yet their art, preserved against all odds, survived. Today, you can see some of these treasures in museums, but many remain locked in storage due to their delicate condition. The key Marco cat itself almost looks alive, its expression calm, wise, and strangely human. What message were the Calusa trying to pass down through this sculpture? Was it a symbol of power, a guardian spirit, or something we can no longer understand? The key Marco artifacts remain among Florida's most haunting ancient mysteries, a glimpse into a lost world.